Hi guys, Mons here. Welcome to my podcast. This is my very first episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs is my favorite time of the year. I just love the whole atmosphere in the playoffs. I look forward to different type of matchups. Like in every single playoff or round, I always feel like the matchup always make the round. Like you can have a very good team match up against a very average team, but the matchup might favor the average team. So in this episode, what we're going to go through is we're going to go through all the playoff games. However, we're going to go through three in depth. The three games of the round, in my humble opinion. So the first one we're going to go through is going to be the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then the second one we're going to go through the Warriors and the Rockets, and the third one we're going to go through detail is going to be the Nuggets and the Clippers. I think that's going to be a really tasty one. So the first one is Lakers and Minnesota. Obviously, not to say I'm a LeBron guy, so I hope the Lakers go through with this one. I think they're slight favorites in this round as well, especially when we have a Luka and LeBron compared to Minnesota just having one superstar. And the NBA is a superstar league. However, the role players do play a big part as well. So, what we're gonna do a breakdown on this one. So for Lakers, obviously it's for Lakers. I feel like LeBron's a leader, but don't make no mistake about. I think Luka is the best player on this team. This is Luka's team. It's become Luka's team ever since he got traded to LA. Because LeBron is 40 years old in the year 22. You can't expect him to keep carrying on the burden of every single team he plays for. And I'm a LeBron guy, and I'm absolutely delighted to get Luka. Because last year playoff, I remember watching Luka, and I felt like he was the best player in the world. However, we all know Jokic is the best player in the world. He has 3 MVPs in the last 5 years. So obviously we give that title to Jokic. However, I think this is a very significant playoff game for Luka because last year he went absolutely crazy in the playoffs and he got to the final, but obviously got overpowered by a unbelievable Celtics team. So with Luka, I've been watching him play. Like I never really missed Lakers regular season game. So with Luka, I've been watching him play. Let's say for the past maybe 2-3 years, but more closely last year's playoff when I was rooting for him, and especially this year when he came to Lakers. So with Luka, I think his style of play can be somewhat detrimental to the team if his shots aren't falling, or if he's not on his game getting his shots off, and especially its trees, the step back trees are a big thing for Luka. If those aren't falling, is he going to go to the rack and get some points, or he's going to set up people and make them score points? So with the Lakers, I feel like they have two superstars. Obviously, with Luka, he's a megastar. LeBron, obviously, he's a megastar as well. But the role players will also play a big part in this round because you can't like you can pencil LeBron down for nowadays between 20 to 25 points. You can pencil Luka down for maybe from 25 to 32 to 35 points, and also Austin Reeves. You can pencil him down from anything between 18 to 25 points. However, will the role players such as Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, Dalton connects in a little bit. Now, will they make their trees? I think that's a big question in this series. Will Lakers role players make the shot? Because I know what the three players are going to give. The three star players are going to give me. Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. I know what they're going to give me on a night-to-night basis, or most of the nights through the playoffs. So the MO in the Lakers ever since Luka's has been traded to the Lakers has been you put early ball pressure on Luka, force him to give up the ball. So I think it works to the Lakers' advantage, somewhat to the Lakers' advantage, because if you force Luka to give up the ball, LeBron is the second option. LeBron is LeBron. He 9 times out of 10 he will make the right decision on the ball. What I love about LeBron the most, what makes me so happy to be a LeBron fan is that I know the NBA has a stigma of the best player has to take the last shot. Well, LeBron throughout his whole career he's demonstrated where he doesn't have to take the last shot. He can pass it off, make the right play. If the shot falls, it falls. If it doesn't fall, I know he gets criticized, he gets killed because the shot doesn't have the killer mentality. But we'll get to that another day. For me, I always believe if you're a player, especially in the NBA, you make the right play all the time. You don't try to force up a shot. If the shot isn't on, you always make the right play. And if that's giving it up to your teammate, trust them in the playoffs, because you're gonna have to trust them sooner or later. You're not gonna make every single basket you shoot in the playoff or you put up in the playoff. You're just not gonna do it. So it's good to get your teammate trust early on and give them confidence. That's what I love about LeBron. His playmaking is just second to none. I find that very similar to Jokic as well. We'll talk about Jokic more in the Clippers and Nuggets matchup. So Going back to teams forcing Luka to give up the ball. So second option is LeBron, then third option is Reeves. Reeves is a brilliant player. He's gotten so much better for the past 2-3 years. He's improved steadily from 8 points, 10 points a year to 12 points. Now I think he's a 20 points per game scorer in the regular season. Reeves is a brilliant player, scoring. He's a bit slender on defense, which I do worry about in this matchup because Timberwolves they'll be somewhat a physical team, and they have athletic bigs, which will cause problem, especially for a team like Lakers, where we're not a very big team. Obviously, we have a physical prowess in LeBron. We have Rui Hachimura is a very physical player when he actually puts his head down and actually goes at teams. And with Jackson Hayes with lob threat, I think that could play a big part in this round because then you kind of take you take Rudy Gobert away from the basket, which makes it easier then for, let's say, players like Reeves, Hachimura to dive in and LeBron to make some cut and runs to the basket to get some easy basket of Luka's feeds, of Luka's passes. In the past couple of years, or throughout LeBron's career, we've always known the playoffs game one as a fill-out game for LeBron because he's always been the best player on the team. But I think it could be a little bit different this year because this is Luka's team. I said this at the part. This is Luka's team without a doubt. I know LeBron might be the leader, but this is 100% Luka's team. So I don't think LeBron's going to do a fill-out game this year because he's going to go. I think LeBron will try to get the series over and done with early to get enough rest. Luka needs enough rest. I know he had a long-term injury in the season. LeBron needs enough rest at 40 years old, in the year 22. So when Luka has the ball, I think LeBron has to cut to the basket hard. And when he does get the ball, obviously he has to make a shot. Like, I think in the playoffs, shot making is a very big thing. You're going to hear me bang on about shot making in all the review I'm doing today. In the playoffs, shot making is a very big thing. You need shot making from your superstars, from the role players. You honestly need shot making, especially in today's NBA. Threes are a big thing. So, for example, the Lakers, they have Rui Hachimura. I think he's a 39 to 40% a 3-point shooter in the regular season, like in this year and last year, and also Dorian Finney-Smith and also Gabe Vincent off the bench. Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent are probably going to be the two most important role players in these playoffs for the Lakers and probably for the whole NBA because the Lakers bench is very weak. Apart from Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith, and offensively we don't really have much. And Vanderbilt will come off the bench as well, but he's a defensive guy. He'll get your rebounds. He'll hustle hard for you. He'll guard your opponent's best player. And Lakers with no bigs, well, apart from Jackson Hayes, but with no other backup bigs. Jerry Vanderbilt, what he has done is he's coming as a second big when Lakers go small. So he'll get your rebounds. He'll hustle hard for you. You know what I mean? But he's not gonna hit shots for you. Like, Vanderbilt is just not an offensive guy. He's a defensive guy. We know what he is. So don't try to complicate things and try to make him make shots. Just do your job. That's what I think. Role players that are actually very good at their job are the ones that know the role. If you're a defensive guy, hustle hard, get rebounds, get in your opponent's faces, guard the best players. Just do what you have to do. Don't try to overcomplicate things. And I'm a defensive guy, but I have to make a couple of shots. If you get a layup, fair enough. Like, that's understandable. But don't try to overcomplicate things. Just know your role and do your job, basically. And that's what I love the most about Dorian Finney-Smith. He's a perfect role player. You can even see on the bench, he supports his teammates. When he comes on, he's very good on defense. His defense is very good. He's not a very physical defender, but when he cuts off the angles for the opposition team when they're making attacks to the basket, he's very good at cutting off the angles for them and making them try to pass out to somebody else to try and beat them instead. And I think he's a 40% to 44% three-point shooter in the regular season. I think it's somewhere between 42. I think he's 42%. Dorian Finney-Smith is a 42% three-point shooter in the regular season. So his shot making is going to be huge for Lakers. Going to be absolutely huge for the Lakers because when you have Luka, LeBron, and Reeves all giving you between 20 to 30 points, you need Dorian Finney-Smith maybe giving you 8 to 12 points, maybe every second game. And Gabe Vincent, he's actually a very good player once he got healthy in LA. When he first got traded, he got a knee injury, which made him look like a terrible player. He couldn't make a shot. I think it was 3 for 21 or 3 for 22 at one stage just shooting trees. But in the last couple of months, when he got healthy in the regular season, he's been hitting some big trees. And I'm a big fan of Gabe Vincent. On the defensive side of the floor, he's a very steady defender. He's not gonna get up and get blocks. He's like 6'1", 6 foot. He's not gonna get up and get blocks. But what he will do is get the opposition player in front of him, and he will try his best to avoid him going to the basket or making him get an easy layup. He's very good at that, and his shot making also will be very important this round. Also, in this playoff round, especially with the Lakers, LeBron's on the team, Luka's on the team. Back in the day, LeBron was a very good defender, in my opinion. Nowadays, LeBron does take plays off in the games, especially in the regular season. Like, you see him taking some plays off. He gets criticized for it, but if you're 40 years old and you're 22, you're not going to be able to hang with these young cats. I'm just being honest. This NBA players, some of them are generally freak of nature athletes. If you see some of them, like for example, like Ja Morant, some of the guys off the Rockets, just freak athletes. Like Anthony Edwards in this series, Jaden McDaniels, all freak athletes. Like when you're 40, you're just not going to be chasing after those guys all night. You pick your spot defensively, like late in games. Maybe you set a tone in the game. Maybe the first couple of minutes you go very hard defensively, set a tone, put some fear in the opposition heart. But I believe the Lakers will be as good defensively as much as LeBron buys in, because he's the leader. If LeBron starts off the game really locked in defensively, the rest of the teammates are going to see it, and they're going to lock in defensively as well. So that's why it's important for Luka. Luka doesn't really guard a man. He's kind of like a rest defender. He hangs around the basket a lot. So he picks up the rebounds, or if someone's caught into the basket, he tries to stop them. Like, we all know Luka's not a great defender, and what I do worry about in this round is Lakers defensively, especially Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is absolutely going to cook the Lakers, man. I'm being completely honest. I think Anthony Edwards is probably going to average between 28 to 32 points in this round. Like, honestly speaking, he's going to absolutely cook the Lakers. What I believe JJ should do, JJ Redick, the Los Angeles coach, let Anthony Edwards get his. That's no problem. But you cannot let the other players get theirs. Players like Jaden McDaniels, you cannot let them start hitting trees, getting his confidence up, because once they start doing that, it's gonna be a huge problem for the Lakers. Absolutely huge problem for the Lakers. Anthony Edwards, let him get his. He's a superstar player. He's a freak athlete. He's a generational talent as well. Just let him get his 30 points a night. Like, him scoring 30 points is gonna kill you. But the other players on the team, such as Jaden McDaniels, you're looking at Julius Randle. If they're hitting their high 20s, then that becomes a problem for the Lakers, in my opinion. So you have to keep the other players scoring down. I don't think you should double Anthony Edwards, except if it's late in game and it's like clutch time. That's when you double him. But in game, let him get matched up 1v1. Maybe with LeBron. I hope he doesn't cook LeBron. But let him get matched up 1-on-1 with one of the Lakers defenders. That'll be no problem. Let him get his 30s. That's no problem at all. But you cannot let players like Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels get high 20s or high. You just can't let that happen, because that will cause huge problem for the Lakers, in my opinion. True. We're going to have a quick dive on Anthony Edwards here. So basically, in the regular season, in average, basically 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists on basically 40% shooting from the tree. He's one of 5 players to ever make 300 trees in a regular season. Like, I think Steph Curry has done it 5 times. That's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is a once in a lifetime player, especially from 3, the way he revolutionized the game and all. He's done it 5 times. I think James Harden's done it once. I think that's his MVP year with the Houston Rockets. I know Malik Beasley have done it as well. I think Klay Thompson's done it as well. I think Klay, Steph has done it 5 times. Then there's Houston Rockets, James Harden's MVP year. Malik Beasley this year, he's been on fire as well. And then obviously Anthony Edwards. When Anthony Edwards came into the league, he was this athletic guy, get to the rim all the time, just dunking on everybody. But this regular season, what I did notice, I remember I think there was the second game of the season, or the first game of the season when they played the Lakers. He's shooting a lot more trees. And he got a good bit of criticism for it, which I didn't believe it was fair, because I believe if you're a player, you should always add something to your game every single season. You work on something different every single every single off season to get better. You just can't be a run and dunk player like for the rest of your whole career. So basically, you can tell Anthony Edwards has worked a lot the past off season on his trees. So he started putting up, I think he was putting up 11 or 8 trees per game, a 10 per game. and he was hitting 40% of them. That's basically Steph Curry, like, you know. And you still have analysts giving out about complaining about him, saying, "Oh, he needs to get to the basket more." I do understand he's a very athletic guy. However, putting up trees in the NBA, you're making 40% of it. I have no issues whatsoever. You're average. He ended up averaging 28 points per game this year, and he made 300 over, I think, over 300 trees, which is phenomenal as well. So my problem with the Lakers and his matchup is who's going to guard him. Who's going to guard Anthony Edwards? Who's going to be primary defender on Anthony Edwards? My guess, like, you can't put Reeves on him. Reeves will be strong enough to stay in front of Anthony Edwards. Luka, I don't think you can put. Luka is strong, but I don't think he's athletically gifted enough to stay in front of Anthony Edwards. And that leaves us down to Rui. Jackson Hayes is not going to guard him. He's probably going to go for his matchup where Rudy Gobert is in the game, and LeBron. So I think it's going to be between Rui and LeBron to somewhat slow down Anthony Edwards, which I think will be a difficult task, especially for Rui Hachimura or LeBron, because if you're expending that much energy on defense, your offensive game is going to lack a little bit, especially with shot making. If you're trying to hit trees and your legs are tired, your shot will always come off short. Like, that's just the way basketball is. That's just the way basketball is. You're seeing it so many times when defensive players, when they're moving, shuffling around, trying to guard unbelievable, talented offensive players, they're just so tired. Their trees always come up short. So I think obviously when Dorian Finney-Smith comes in as well, I think he probably would be one of the best players to guard Luka to guard Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. Like I said, let Anthony Edwards get his, no problem, but you cannot let these other role players get in on the action as well. You just can't let that happen. For me, that will spell huge trouble for the Lakers. That would be a dangerous territory for the Lakers. And also, special mention to Jaden McDaniels. I believe he's one of the best on-ball defender in the NBA. He guards most of the nights you see him play. He guards the opposition best players. He's very similar to Jared Vanderbilt, except for he's a competent 3-point shooter as well, where Jared Vanderbilt is just not a competent 3-point shooter. So Jaden McDaniels, he's an athletic guy, a young guy, he gets around. He's a long defender. I think he'll give Luka a little bit of trouble, but that's why Luka tried to do pick and roll and switch to maybe Rudy Gobert, who can't move his feet as quick. Because I remember in the playoff last year, what he did to Minnesota and Luka. I think they were down by a point. I think it was like 5 or 6 seconds left. Luka did pick and roll. He switched to Rudy Gobert and he hit a big three over Rudy Gobert and just start cursing him out. It was one of the best. It was one of the most iconic moments in the playoffs for me last year. And Luka was just phenomenal last year in that playoff run. I hope he does the exact same thing for Lakers this year. I think this year Lakers will have a big advantage in the coaching front, because last 2-3 years we've had Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham did okay with what was given. However, I believed when it came down to close games, down late, especially with the Nuggets last year, you see Nuggets previous coach, who actually just got fired. Actually, funny enough, he was calling big plays for Nuggets. Whereas Lakers last year, the year before, were just relying on LeBron and AD. Like, you need to call plays as a coach. You need to have nice defensive schemes as a coach. I just think JJ Redick has done a brilliant job. I think he's one of the candidates for coaches of the year this year. And honestly, I can't wait to see how he coaches the playoff. You can tell the guy lives and breathes basketball. I love him. He's a very, very good coach. So for my prediction in this round, obviously LeBron guy, Lakers guy, but I do believe Lakers should win this. I think it'd be a disaster if they lose the first round, a huge disaster, especially trading for Luka. So my prediction is I can see Lakers winning in 6 games. I know everyone online go Lakers in 5, but I can see Minnesota get 2 games off the Lakers, because Lakers can be defensively unserious sometimes. You know yourself. Anyone that's watched the Lakers this year, last couple of years. But I believe Lakers should win 6 games. I don't see going 7 games, but because I can see LeBron and Luka get 4 games, And then obviously Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is definitely going to get you. He's going to have a generational, at least one generational game. All great players do in the playoff round. He's going to get you one. And I think when Lakers go to Minnesota's court, they'll lose another one as well. So basically, I think it's going to be a 4-2 series. So my prediction this round is going to be Lakers in 6. Drop the comments below. Let me know what your predictions are. If you agree with anything I say, if you disagree with anything I say, I'm always open. I'm always open to an open discussion about basketball, Lakers, whatever. Just drop your comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and support the channel. Thank you very much.